This mayoral election, more than $50 million were on the line, not from donors and candidates, but from people betting on the race.
That's right. CBS LA's Amy Johnson shows us how prediction markets are gambling with democracy, which could come at an even greater cost.
It's like voting with your wallet. Prediction markets offer voters a new way to bet on their candidate.
Over the past few years, there have been two in particular that have grown in popularity, Kalshi and Polymarket.
The apps and sites allow you to open contracts or bet on just about anything, including elections. Those so-called contracts can be sold at any time, more like a stock than betting on a horse race. Users and their bets can cause a candidate's odds to shift. The higher they go or lower they fall, the more attention they may get, leading some experts to wonder how these markets can influence voters.
I think there's probably fear of manipulation. There's probably fear that it will affect election outcomes. If they believe that manipulating the market will affect an election outcome, there's a second stage in that process, is that you need to understand how people's perception based upon the price may affect their behavior when it comes to voting.
Our interest, our engagement with politics should be over the issues.
Political science professor Matt Lessonier with Cal State Long Beach says how voters perceive the strength of a candidate can directly influence how they vote.
But it is clear for a less engaged voter, they're constantly looking for these cues as a shorthand so they don't have to study rigorously the candidates and their platforms.
Professor Tom Reitz at the University of Iowa has studied and run prediction markets for more than 3 decades and says it's just another resource for voters.
Whether prediction markets are more accepted by voters and they react more by voters is anybody's guess. In a fundamental sense, it's no different than any other information source that may cause voter reactions to change.
When it comes to the LA mayoral race, prediction markets and polls told different stories. On Kalshi, at the end of April, Nithya Raman had a peak of 57% to finish first. Poll at that time had her at 16%. Around the same time, Karen Bass was as low as 21%, even falling behind both Spencer Pratt and Raman on Kalshi. She was polling at 22%. On May 12th, Pratt saw highs around 32% compared to polls at 22%. Reed says it's still unclear how prediction markets may influence future elections.
And the evidence on that just from polls is actually quite mixed. It's too early to tell if there's any evidence of that based upon large-scale forecasting methods.
Okay, so following the latest shift in results as of this morning, Nithya Raman's odds of advancing, according to Kalshi, are 40%, while Spencer Pratt's odds sit at less than 2%.
Oh.
On primary night, Raman was given just a 9% chance to advance.
We're joined now by Aaron Velasquez, who did this story, and you proposed this after seeing some of it on your own app.
Yeah, that's
and what was
exactly
going on.
right. So, scrolling social media, just seeing how these markets were being played out online and being an LA local and seeing just what we know as the polls and election statuses are versus what's being reflected online was just staggering to see. And
it's really interesting. I mean, how you said in particular, it was Nithya Raman at 57% that you went, hold on.
She had some extremely high peaks throughout the election cycle. And I think when I talk to experts about what are some of these peaks and valleys look like, they speak about prediction markets just kind of really being a big overreaction, and also these things close in the start of the day and at the end of the day, so you're really getting real-time, more daily information versus compared to polls.
That's interesting.
It is very interesting. Okay, so putting this story together, obviously you found some of the challenges with this. Talk about some of the difficulties.
Yeah, I think it speaks to just that this is a huge market, Kalshi and Poly market. They're new to the scene and they've grown exponentially, and it's just a matter of experts needing time to do the research, while also kind of being on an invisible clock in the sense that at any moment these markets could be disrupted via the courts or legislation.
Interesting.
I think it's interesting too. I have a lot of friends who work in reality television, and they're watching this right now too because they're worried it's going to start ruining the ends of certain shows. I mean, this could have an impact on many different industries.
It certainly is. You saw in the story, you could bet just about on anything. You can open contracts on things from elections to, your sports. We've got, Game 3 tonight, the NBA Finals.
Oh, that's
These are all
right.
very popular options. But really, just speaking to the election cycle and democracy, that's where experts are waiting to see. It's just waiting. They're playing the waiting game to do the research on how these things are going to unfold moving forward, and also just again battling that time clock of whether legislators voters are going to be shutting these things down and seeing how they work.
What about ethical concerns? Like, are there rules against who should not be betting on these things?
As of now, it depends on which platform you're using. So there are measurements in place to kind of protect users in the sense that if you're using Kalshi, you kind of have to be using a user verification where we know who you are, we know who the user is, we know you reside, we know where you live, your identification methods. And it's just a matter of a conflict of, that's where the story is. Is there a conflict between if I am a user of these apps while also being a voter in the election cycle?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's really interesting. Alex, thank you so much for producing this piece and being with us to talk about it a little bit more this morning.
Thank you so much.